Tomorrow night, we're going to be on the road to WrestleMania for the March 23rd edition of Monday Night Raw. Of course, coming to you live from Staples Center. The main event of WrestleMania 31 is Brock Lesnar, the champion, coming in against Roman Reigns. There's so many ongoing storylines about this match. Basically, Brock Lesnar and Monday night is looked at as D-Day. As being said, for Vince McMahon and the team trying to sign Brock Lesnar to bring him back. He hasn't even left yet, but try and keep Brock Lesnar from leaving the WWE Universe. There's rumors of contracts being negotiated and talked behind closed doors of Brock Lesnar to go back to UFC or maybe even head over and try a new path in the MMA group Bellator. Whoever's going to pay the most money for the services of Brock Lesnar is going to get them. People are sometimes thinking that Brock Lesnar might be playing Vince McMahon, trying to bring in more money. You can think of Brock Lesnar shortly after having a match and having his debut back into WWE in 2012. He showed up at a UFC show in the front row. It was said that Brock Lesnar tried to negotiate a return to UFC with Dana White, but Dana White shooed Brock Lesnar away, basically saying that he would talk to Brock once his WWE days were done, but he sort of knew the game that Brock Lesnar was playing and didn't want to be any part of it. When Brock wanted to fight for real, come to him and there would be a deal on the table and they'd be able to negotiate it. But there's no way Dana White was looking for a part-time wrestler, part UFC time fighter, and try to work around Vince McMahon's schedule. Now, here we are, years later, and it looks like Brock really wants to make that jump, or maybe he just really wants to see how much money Vince will be putting on the table. Brock Lesnar in the last 3 years, honestly, in my opinion, might have lived up to what his contract was. I think, before WrestleMania 30, I was very vocal of thinking, what did Brock really do to bring fans to the table? Yes, when he, came back and made his return at the night after WrestleMania 28 at Monday Night Raw there in Miami, it did spark a ton of interest. I bet there were some UFC viewers who did, buy in and purchase to watch Extreme Rules to see Brock Lesnar going up against John Cena. Brock Lesnar is a guy that always has a big build-up behind him of anything can happen because of how big this guy is, how bad he is. We've seen him in WWF, WWE before his leave of absence, I guess you can say, in 2003. He came in as a rookie. He won the WWF Championship from The Rock. Not only that, he went to his first WrestleMania 19, main evented after winning the Royal Rumble and beat Kurt Angle, one of the best wrestlers in the world, for the World Heavyweight Championship in the main event that night. So you can tell that Brock is a great professional wrestler with a great amateur wrestling background, from going to the University of Minnesota. And as well as that, he went into the cage in UFC. He had his ups and downs along his way, but while he was there, he was the biggest name and the biggest face of UFC. I always talk about the fact that Brock Lesnar was the poster boy for one of the first UFC games. He was the world heavyweight champion at that time of UFC, so it was a big deal that he was there, and it was a big deal that he left, even though he admitted that he thought he was past his prime. You can think of the Brock Lesnar versus Overeem fight where Overeem got the win. It seemed that Brock Lesnar was running away from Overeem as he was hitting him. Of course, he lost in the first round of that fight, and he did deserve to. You think about the diverticulitis that Brock had gone through. Was his body really ready for the fights, or did he just really need the payday because he knew his days in UFC were done? Now here we are, Brock showing up. WrestleMania 31 as well as the Monday Night Raw the night after is going to be Brock Lesnar's last days in the company, and it looks like he's going to be handing the torch over to the new flag bearer of the company, and that being Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns coming out of the Shield. He won the Royal Rumble this year with a little bit of help from his blood relative, The Rock. And on Monday, we're going to see these guys face to face. Honestly, in my mind, they've kept Brock and Roman far away as they can. The night after the Royal Rumble, which of course was the snowed-in Monday Night Raw, which was probably one of the best things that could happen for Roman Reigns and the WWE, seeing how much bad publicity that Philadelphia crowd gave to Roman Reigns when he won the Royal Rumble, and even with The Rock putting his stamp of approval on him, the fans still booing for the second year in a row, not wanting to go along with who Vince McMahon and the powers that be picked as the Royal Rumble winner to main event WrestleMania 31. Did the people just boo because it wasn't Daniel Bryan? Did they boo because they were on television and they wanted to see if they could get this sort of appeal and appearance that happened the year before when Batista made his return in Pittsburgh, and the Pittsburgh crowd were walking out on him? The pictures you can see of him in the corner pointing up at the WrestleMania sign, you can already tell that the people that were in the front row had already left, and those are the people that paid the most money to be inside of that building that night. They didn't want any part of the Batista award ceremony of him, being crowned champion of the Royal Rumble that year and going on to WrestleMania 30 and wrestling in the main event. They were already halfway to their cars so they can get out of there before the traffic started to really back up. When I think about Roman Reigns, the storyline booking of this guy, they really make this guy look like one of the biggest chickens that's ever walked the face of the earth. Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman week after week. We've seen Brock talking crap about how he can beat Roman, and Roman just kept a level head, and he's saving it for WrestleMania. Brock has been basically running him down, as well as Paul basically saying that Roman is a great wrestling talent. He seems like he's got a lot of momentum behind him, but when it comes to WrestleMania 31, it's going to be like running into a freight train. There's no way that Roman can beat Brock. There's nobody in this world that can beat Brock. And we've seen Brock and Heyman just run down Roman Reigns, while Roman's been in the building because he's had matches and he's had appearances on the show after these Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman promos, and he hasn't even came out to confront him. So on Monday, we're going to finally see these guys go head to head, and I need to see fireworks from this. I know that these guys more than likely won't touch, but I need something to prove that Roman Reigns isn't. We know they're going to fight. He's not going to back down, but something that shows me that Roman really is going to be bringing a fight to WrestleMania 31, because if as of right now, when a guy is running you down inside of the ring and you're in the locker room, you get your butt out there and you confront him. That's what we've seen from everybody else. But for some reason, we've had this level-headed booking of Roman Reigns, which I don't know if it's because, Brock Lesnar is the guy that has appeal. Even though he's the main heel of the company and he is the champion, he is cheered loudly every time he makes an appearance on Monday Night Raw. Every time he does beat somebody up, him and Heyman seem to have the WWE Universe in their hand, and maybe they don't want Roman Reigns to be booed. Again, even though that they know the perception for Roman Reigns is that, he's not really the most over guy in the company, because people feel like he's being force-fed the championship, and they don't really believe that he is the guy that should be there. So Monday's going to be a good one. Hopefully we see fireworks. More than likely, we see a whole lot of talking.